Greetings. So now we are going to establish the view, the Hermetic perspective on this archetype of the magician, as if we're standing on a cliff and seeing everything spread out, everything that's possible out across the horizon before us. A sense of where we might voyage into, and also a sense of where we are right now and where we might begin. So I'm exploring this with you. The most important thing probably ever, and something that can be tricky, is you've got to start where you actually are. Self-acceptance. Be honest with yourself about where you are. Because as the magician warns, there's always a danger of charlatanism. And charlatanism is rooted in a lack of self-knowledge, basically, when you are purporting to know or to be something that you're not. I think when somebody has attained a degree of mastery in anything, there's a humbleness, there's a quality of humbleness. We all have egos. There's nothing wrong with the ego. We need it to exist. But within this teaching of the magician, there is that warning of there's always the possibility, because it's the tendency of the ego, all of our egos, to have delusions of grandeur. And the unfortunate reality that goes with delusions of grandeur is that they are always accompanied by their opposite, which is delusions of failure and imposter syndrome and unworthiness. The spiritual path is basically learning to find a middle point, what's called equanimity, so that you are neither having delusions of grandeur or delusions of despair and defeat and self-loathing, because those two things go together. If you remain in a place of humbleness and just do the work, you're not caught up in that tempest. So here we are at the threshold of the magician. This arcanum deals with the relationship between personal effort and spiritual reality. So again, you can imagine this cross. Where does your personal discipline, your will, your desire meet with the spiritual reality that just exists? That's what this card deals with. There is a practical teaching that has to do with concentration, and you'll see how that relates to meditation very intimately, because the caveat is it's concentration without effort. It actually just takes practice and practice and practice to arrive at a point where you can reliably enter into a state of concentration without effort. So concentration without effort. The other theoretical principle that we're going to be dealing with is correspondences. So you'll remember this from the video on the terms. Western esotericism addresses correspondences. Another word for correspondences is analogy. So the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus was engraved with the words "as above, so below." Those words, which we will delve into, get into this reality of correspondences or analogy and how that relates to concentration without effort, the relationship between personal effort and spiritual reality. And before we jump into it, I have a couple of quotes I wanted to read as a manner of introducing you, setting the stage, as it were, for the information that is to come. Central to the alchemist's work was a figure called Mercurius, whose paradoxes were limitless. The alchemists referred to him as both the world-creating spirit and the spirit concealed or imprisoned in matter. They called him the transforming substance, and at the same time, the spirit indwelling in all living creatures. In short, Mercurius was both the transformer and the element that needed to be liberated and transformed. According to the alchemists, man himself stood in this dual role as world creator and imprisoned one, as redeemer and the one in need of redemption. And this one is from Jung's collected works. Mercury was considered a symbol that united cosmic, physical, and psychic opposites, such as matter and spirit, metal and fluid, poison and healing potion. Among his attributes were such pairs of opposites as bird and serpent, old man and boy, sun and moon. When the alchemist speaks of Mercurius, on the face of it he means quicksilver, but inwardly he means the world-creating spirit concealed or imprisoned in matter. Mercurius is the divine winged Hermes manifest in matter, the god of revelation, lord of thought, and sovereign psychopomp. And then finally, a quote from Richard Wilhelm, who translated this text, The Secret of the Golden Flower, which is an old Chinese treatise on meditation. He says, "Consciousness is the element marking what is separated off, individualized in a person, and the unconscious is the element that unites him with the cosmos. The unification of the two elements via meditation is the principle upon which the work is based." So with that, we will now embark upon the practical teaching of the magician, which is concentration without effort. See you in the next video.